primo e secondo. No, anche il secondo. Ecco, c'è stato. Questo fu.
Introduce Leonardo co-general manager, Mr. Lorenzo Mariani.
Thank you, Stefano, and good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank all our guests. First of all, General Masiello, the Chief of the Italian Army, General Lupoli, the Chief of Arma Aereo, and all the other institutions and guests. Thank all of you who are going to assist to this event. Welcome to the presentation of the AW249 here in Eurosatory. Eurosatory is one of the most important international defense venue, and we are glad, as Leonardo, to be able to present today this fantastic machine. We are experiencing a change in all the requirements following the recent conflicts and the evolution of the threats. And more helicopters, the attack helicopter, the escort helicopter, has to be well suited for multi-domain operations. More and more asymmetric threats and changing threats oblige our armed forces, our army in this case, but not only, to be capable of facing multi-domain operations where land, sea, air, space, and cyber as a transversal element are affecting the performance of the system and the performance of the operation as a whole. A key factor in this case is the capability to work together. To work together, those who state the requirement, so our user, our customer, and our industry. And under this aspect, I think AW249 is a very good example. I still remember the day, early 2016, when we signed the first development contract, and after not so many years, we are today to unveil this fantastic machine. In all this period, all these years, our people, our engineers have been working close, I will not say hand in hand, but very close with the people of the army in order to develop really a machine that could fulfill all the requirements in the shortest time and in the best way. And I think that the result is really outstanding. Synergies between industry and the user, and I think this is a very good example. This is, of course, a very good example also of the capability of Leonardo to provide a platform through our helicopters division that embeds very modern and performing electronics equipment in charge of our electronics division. So also a very good vertical integration inside our company. We really are convinced that this machine will be a fantastic one with a fantastic future ahead of us, and I take the opportunity to hand over to Giampiero Cutillo, who is the Managing Director of the Helicopters Division, and he will better explain the rationale behind this machine and the future capabilities. Thanks a lot for being here.
Grazie Lorenzo. Thank you everybody for being here, and really a warm welcome to everybody, and special thanks to Generale Masiello and General Nuovo. Thank you very much. In this scenario that has been briefly recalled by Lorenzo, I think it's clear to everybody that the role of the vertical lift is actually currently playing a pivotal role, a fundamental role in this day. And as a Leonardo, we are really a quite wide product portfolio that spans from the 200 kilos unmanned helicopter to a 16 tons specialized platform. That we have numbers of multi-role helicopters, and we have also a specialized platform. But we have to say that as a Leonardo helicopter, we are not really limiting our investment on sustaining the current product portfolio, but we are ready, because we are getting a strong push from the new requirements that we are receiving to overcome the current and embedded limits of our helicopters. That's why we are investing on autonomous and unmanned vehicle. We are also investing on fast rotorcraft with deep rotors, but we are also investing to move the conventional, traditional helicopter to a smarter and more smarter helicopter, which means that it will be, as we will see with the 249, a helicopter which has interoperability, data fusion, sensor fusions, all this kind of stuff. And the AW249s, as been recorded by Lorenzo, it's really testifies as the best example of this smart helicopter. I do believe that there is truly a game changer, and is the newest in this segment on the eastern or the western world, and it's actually it's providing a huge capability, and together with the excess on processing power that is available on this machine, together with the digital native concept and the open architecture, it really will be someone can provide a future capability in its evolution. So I think that it is now really it is the moment to really leave the floor to our engineer to describe the capability of this helicopter. I want one more time to thank General Lupo, General Masiello and his team, not only for being here, but for the support that we received all over this year to get to the results that we achieved so far. So, Alessandro, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Giampiero. Thank you, all of you, for coming here today. As Giampiero was saying, this helicopter really represents the first example of new design in this segment, the combat segment, in the past 30 years. And it embeds a number of technologies, solutions, capabilities that really are not today present in any of the current technologies, really giving a quantum step in terms of the next generation, what will be the next generation of rotorcraft. A really acting as a bridge to what will be the future of the type of operations. We are extremely proud as Leonardo team to have been working very closely with the Italian Army in a very iterative and working side by side in the development of this program and this platform. And actually, to enter into a bit more technical, I am pleased to introduce Maggiore Matteo Bergamo, the Italian Army working group lead for the AW249 program, and he will drive us through a presentation on the technical capabilities of this aircraft. So, and then I will join you later on. Matteo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. The AW249 is a modern military platform that represents a major change and a game-changing asset in the attack helicopter segment. This mainly thanks to high performances in terms of speed, endurance, payload, range, the availability of state-of-the-art technology on board, mission systems and avionics, and weapon systems that could do the difference of the battle. Over the past 6 years, the joint activities conducted by the Italian Army together with the Italian MOD, the National Air Armament Directorate, and Leonardo Company led us to the results you can witness here on my side. A brand new attack helicopter that is flying effectively since August 2022 and is being designed to be highly effective in any future battlefield. Firstly, let me point out one important thing. The AW249 is not an evolution of the AH-249 Mangusta that everybody knows. Instead, it marks a completely new evolution as rather than its predecessor that will grant the Italian Army over the next decades of an asset capable of being safe and effective on battlefields. Now, a remark on the military requirement. The military requirement of the AW249 have a structured and defined genesis. They all came as a result of one really important question, and this question is, what will be, in a time frame 2030 and beyond, the military requirements to cope with the future complexity of the battle spaces? And we did an analysis that led us to understand that in the future military forces will need to adopt technologies and assets capable of operating effectively in increasingly congested areas where the growing urbanization of battle spaces will mark the difference. Contested environment due to the presence of one or more opposing forces, constrained environment, connected spaces due to the availability at a relatively low cost of military technologies, and cluttered spaces where combatants, non-combatants, local population, GOs, NGOs, and media will be all together in the same space, enhances the difficulties in identifying possible threats. As a result, the Italian Army, first of all, identified the potentially most challenging scenario for an attack helicopter. And I can tell you that this scenario is the possible presence of a peer competitor capable of deploying anti-XSR denial bubbles on the battlefield. Then we assume that this scenario to be seismic for the definition of the military requirement of the platform. Then we analyzed the possible threats that could exist in that scenario and find some solutions that could allow this platform to be effective and operate safely also in presence of those threats. In the end, we finally defined the military requirements of the AW249. Therefore, in order to apply these requirements to to transform these requirements into a capabilities, we define 6 essential pillars that constitute the backbone of the capabilities of the helicopter. The first one is the interoperability and connectivity in multi-domain context. These will be mainly reached thanks to an advanced C4 architecture that will allow the platform to be interoperable with most of the assets operating in all 5 domains, thanks to advanced software-defined radios that integrate latest waveforms that will grant us the capability to communicate both voice and data, line of sight and beyond line of sight. Then this machine will integrate different types of data links for the same purposes. A full motion video data link that will grant us the capability to transmit and receive both at the same time videos coming from third-party assets or the video coming from sensors and optoelectronics of the helicopter to other assets outside of the helicopter, that could be a JTAC or a command post. Then on board we will have a mission computer, a high-performance mission computer that will constitute the real brain of the helicopter. And lastly, talking about C4 architecture, we will have a brand new technologically advanced data space management system that will be fully integrated with all the weapons, radios, sensors, the helmets, and everything else that stays on board the helicopter. The second pillar is maneuverability in any operational environment. Talking about this pillar, say that this will be mainly aimed to allow us to fly at high speed and very low altitude to avoid as much as possible the detection cones of the anti-aircraft systems of opposing forces, to staying outside of the ranges of weaponry within the anti-access area denial buffers. Thus, we will adopt a net-of-the-air flight in all these conditions to avoid even the capability of a possible opposing force to engage the AW249 with direct fire. And this will grant us the capability to reach as much as possible in terms of distances our possible targets. Then this pillar will also allow us to fly at high speed and very low altitude in any operational context. And this is mainly related to the capability of the helicopter to effectively and safely fly in degraded visual environments, all 9 conditions, and at night in total absence of lighting, external light of the ambient. The third pillar is lethality and precision, and this will be mainly reached by the integration on board the helicopter of heterogeneous, precise and effective weapon system that will allow us in a first phase to engage a possible opponent with as much precision as possible while staying as much far from the enemy, and I'm talking about standoff. Then in a second phase we will be granted the capability to use selective and precise fire on a possible opponent that will be extremely useful in congested spaces, in presence of obstacles, and above all, to avoid any possible collateral damage. The fourth pillar is instead the capability to manage unmanned assets with precise reference to unmanned aerial systems. And this pillar will allow the crew to exploit the technologically advanced platforms that are drones that are usually deployed in depth within the battlefield to extend our situational awareness and to extend also the operational arm of the pilots. Fifth pillar is survivability. This machine will integrate a brand new self-propulsion system fully equipped with sensors and decoys that is complemented even by direct infrared countermeasure and a hostile fire indicator that will provide us with the direction of fires, and I'm talking about RPGs and small arms fires directed towards the helicopter. Then survivability is also enhanced by some technical solutions that are integrated on the helicopter by design, and I'm talking about the capability of the transmission to run dry for at least 50 minutes, and the emergency flotation system, for example, all technical solutions that will enhance and boost the capability of this machine to save the pilot's life. Sixth pillars is the sustainability and survivability. It's the last one, but not the least one, because support of the platform is paramount. And talking about this pillar, I can tell you that in the first phase, we have searched for the supportability, sustainability by design of most of the equipment that is on board the helicopter. And then this machine will introduce a brand new kind of logistic support that is called prescriptive maintenance, that is really innovative in this field, especially with a military helicopter, that will grant the Italian Army in the future to keep much more cost-effective this logistic support of the platforms. And these are the 6 main pillars that constitute the capabilities of the machine. But I can tell you another thing, that at this time, as we are talking, other requirements are still on studies with Leonardo, together with Leonardo company. And this will allow me to introduce a very important capability of the machine. That is the growth capability that we have ensured on the platform, both at hardware and software level. Since Leonardo company is the design authority of the platform and keeps the responsibility of the development of the helicopter, in the future, the Italian Army, when required, could have the capability to integrate other technological solutions or to implement other requirements without sorting to invasive interventions and even after the delivery of the helicopters. This will grant us with the capability to keep this platform on track with the evolution of technology in military and aeronautics, and to keep the AW249 as a state of the art. To conclude, I will tell you some of these capabilities that we are already studying, and these are the capability to use and employ loitering ammunition launched from the helicopter, the capability to hand over and take over different loitering ammo of different natures launched by the ground segment, the employment of artificial intelligence both for operational aid and navigation aid, and an innovative anti-UAS capability that will give us the capability to detect and neutralize drones with special reference to lower weight class UAVs and commercial drones. Now I give back word to the Leonardo company.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Just a few minutes to conclude a couple of additional points from the industry side that we want to highlight. One is crucial to the AW249 is the real avionic integration that we've been able to achieve in terms of core avionics, in terms of battle management system, thanks to the fact that since the beginning we developed this aircraft to be digital native, and thanks to the strong collaboration between Leonardo and the Italian Army on one side, but really fostering all the divisions and all the know-how in the company, not only from the helicopter division, but also from electronics and cyber. You heard before talking a lot about cyber resilience as an example. From an integration, from a layout perspective, a lot of work has been put together with the Italian Army specialists, really from the layout, of the cockpit, the tunnel configuration, talking about the large area display that you can see on the mock-up and the display units, really to give, and together also with the helmet portion, a very advanced helmet that will replicate and augment key information coming from a range of sensors, really talking in a concept sense of fusion, vision, radar, infrared, and a lot of other systems like LiDAR and digital database. all these really to give an increased situational awareness to the pilots. Talking in terms of lethality and survivability, a lot of work has been spent, of course, to further develop what we had initially with a 129, where with the gun turret, the 20mm gun turret, but also the 6 points on the wings that can accommodate a number of active and passive self-protection systems. Lastly, the very last remark that I want to add is that the side effect of developing the aircraft with a huge lesson learned and know-how coming from decades of experience with the AH-129 Mangusta is about training. Together with this aircraft, we evolve new technologies. The aspect that we focus really a lot is to prepare the entry into service from a sustainability to advanced concept, also from a maintenance standpoint, fostering a lot of activities in, for example, restrictive maintenance, but also in terms of training and preparing a set of simulator and training aids that really will enable this machine to enter immediately and to support the Italian Army crew in getting familiar and start the operation of the aircraft. The last couple of words where we are today with the program, as Maggiore Bergamo was saying before, we have already 2 active flying prototypes, actually a prototype and a pre-production machine. 2 more pre-production machines will start flying in the next few weeks, one really in a matter of weeks and one towards the end of this year. And really we have already achieved already some significant milestones with 2 important flight test campaigns, both for OT9 and for firing campaign, and that's on track for in the beginning of the deliveries in 2027. And with this, I actually invite to the stage General Lugoli, the Italian, Director of the Italian Director for Air Armaments and Airworthiness, which is then in behalf of General Luciano Portolano, the Secretary General of Defense and National Armaments Director.
First of all, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me the possibility to talk. As Italian Armaments Procurement and Airworthiness Directorate, that I have the privilege today to lead within the whole National Defense Armament Organization of the Italian Ministry of Defense. The Armario, as we call our services, has been instrumental in the development of this new helicopter, AW249, handling technical requirements, managing program contracts, and also, ensuring smooth progress towards the objectives. And it's an honor for me to pick up some of the points that were, already addressed by the previous speakers. Let me say that today we are reviewing these helicopters that shows from one side which is the new defense landscape, and also the Leonardo evolving role within it. AW249 represents surely a pillar in the Leonardo strategy to build, a presence, an active presence in the future aerospace helicopter sector, in partnership, in this case, with the Italian Army. And this is very important because today we have highlighted which is the possibility of this helicopter to operate in modern operations, and also which are some development status requirement and outcomes. Since 2016, as it was underlined, this represents a very big program within the Italian Ministry of Defense, and I would also say for the Italian defense industry. It has required a close cooperation between industry players, the Italian Army General Staff, the Italian Army Aviation, and the Italian Air Procurement and Awareness Directorate. Building on the experience of AH-129 Mangustas, this helicopter represents a significant technological leap, paving the way for future rotorcraft technology. It comprises, as it was highlighted before, strong flight performance and state-of-the-art technology, including intelligent actuators, advanced avionics, and autonomy features. Its multi-sensing and connectivity capabilities enhance the possibility towards to operate in different scenarios. I will also say that the man-manned teaming, the air-launched, effects enhance its versatility, and let me say that also a cyber resilient design and predictive maintenance improve effectivity from one side and service cost control on the other. While surely the technological advantages of these helicopters are, the key cornerstone, it's true that it will hinge on the possibility to face which will be the emerging threats. And more than that, its ability to operate in different defense scenario and with defense assets. So, from one side, international cooperation, on the other side, integration with allied forces will be the key. It's true that now it represents the only program in the Western world delivering an helicopter combat capability, being, very important not only for Italy, but for other countries, European and non-European ones. And in reality, there are many countries that have already showed, interest to this helicopter. And it's true to say that Italy, considering Italy's system of industry and, the MOD, will support not only the promotion of the helicopter, but more than that, the delivery. Looking ahead at the future, it's important to continue to balance from one side, the technological advantages that are on the table, a strong support for the future, and international cooperation. Italian national defense armament will continue to support it, to promote it, to stimulate industry to perform in the best possible way, in order that at the end it is and it will be the forefront of the helicopter industry. Finally, let me thank you, all the people that to different levels have worked for this helicopter and for letting us today to celebrate the point in which we are. But let me thank in advance all the people that will continue to work to complete the development, to produce the helicopter, and to enhance the capability for the future, in order it remains for decades an example of the Italian innovation and excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Pino. And now to conclude the event, I'm asking to the Chief of the Italian Army, General Masiello.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I think a lot has been said. I don't really have very much to add. But I just want to make very few and short considerations. The evolution of an army goes through two different channels: the adaptations and the transformation. The adaptation is a reaction to what is happening to the current scenarios. We see what's going on in Ukraine. We see all the efforts that all the armies are doing concerning, for example, drones. How much research is on drones, and how are we modifying our structure for this new system. But it's something that lasts just for the adaptation, and as I said, it's a reaction. The other channel is the transformation. The transformation is something that is founded on a concept which has been thoroughly studied, and as it moves, takes its basis from the experience, from what we think is going to be the future. When I look at this helicopter, this is the evolution of the Mangusta, the AH-249, which is the attack helicopter that my generation has grown with. It's the helicopter which we have conducted all the operations of 2000, all the so-called peace support operation, which is quite strange for an attack helicopter talking about peace support. But it made a difference in quite a number of cases. So during that, in 2010, 2015, more or less in those years, we have began thinking at the evolution of these helicopters. And this is the result. This helicopter will last 30, 40 years. We go to 2004, 2015, and 2016. Maybe it's, maybe without maybe, it's the only helicopters that will fly in the artificial intelligence era and currently existing in the world. We wanted a system, not in helicopters, and we received the system. We wanted a system being able to operate in a system of systems, and this is what we are now struggling to do, which is the challenge for all the armies in the world. Being able to operate in a multi-domain environment and systems. We have grown from platform-centric scenarios of the 90s to the network-centric scenarios of the year 2000 to the data-centric scenarios, which is the current scenarios and the future scenarios with the artificial intelligence. So we think that the easy helicopter, it has been said, is really the state of the art. It's a pillar of the transformation of the Italian army, and we are sure that we will be able to face the challenges that we will have in the next years. So I thank Leonardo for the enormous job that has been done. I also thank my team that, as it has been said, has cooperated a lot in the development and the realization of these helicopters. And my last wish that we will like to field it in the army as soon as possible. Thanks. Good afternoon to everyone.
Facciamo che si possa vedere Eurosatory.
I want the real one, not this. Thank you.
Grazie.
For being here. No, I go without. You can stay. Please, everybody, tell me if you don't hear me, if you want me to speak out loudly, just ask. What we are going to do now, first of all, thank you for staying here for these in-depth dives on the capabilities of the AW249. What we will do now is to try to define a little bit better some of the pillars I've already told you about. So, this is the main problem that led us to define the military requirement of this platform. And as I said, during the first stages of this program, we have tried to ask ourselves, where will we use this helicopter, and what will be the operational environment in which we will need to find ourselves, and so we need to be effective and use safely this platform. And we defined the possibly most compelling, most challenging operational environment that, as I told you, is the one in which a possible opponent can deploy anti-access aeronautic bubbles, and within the A2AD bubbles they will dispatch anti-aircraft artillery almost everywhere. So this is our main problem, to have a peer competitor capable of doing this. To trying to find a solution to this operational environment, we understood that we will need obviously to embrace a multi-domain approach to operations, and so we calibrated every requirements on these tasks. As I said, in a multi-domain operation, the operational environment that we will encounter is the one that the NATO defines as NATO 5 Cs. So an environment that is congested, contested, connected due to the technology that stays on the battlefield, constrained and cluttered. I want to talk again about this because we already discussed. A question: is there anybody here that wasn't present during the last presentation 30 minutes ago? Okay. So I can go a little bit quicker on this topic. Then we will have the 6 pillars, we will see in details now, and the new requirements I mentioned at the end of the presentation. So, first pillar is the interoperability, connectivity, and multi-domain operation. Obviously, this graphic is on purpose made complicated to highlight what this machine will do on the battlefield. So we'll be mostly connected with everybody deployed on the battlefield and operating in land, air, and naval domain. Plus, we will have a cyber protection by design of the platform, and obviously we will use the space domain to take advantage of the capabilities offered by GPS technology, while at the same time be capable of flying in a GPS-denied environment, and using the space for secure comms that will also include the capability of transmitting data on satellites. Then other multi-domain capabilities will be, for example, the capability to the capability to exchange the employment of weaponry. I make it better. We have lasers on board, and we can guide laser weapons launched by anybody else. While at the same time, we can use those kind of weapons that somebody else could guide in its terminal phase. And we will mention later the air-to-air missiles capability. And on this slide, what I really would like to highlight is the state-of-the-art C4 architecture that will be implemented on board the helicopter. So, advanced radios, all software defined. I won't tell you the numbers, but there are sufficient radios to communicate with almost everything, everybody in the battle space and outside also the battle space. Talking about SDR radios, we will have latest waveforms that are available now with the capability to implement even in the future new waveforms that will be required to be technically advanced and performant in that kind of environment. Obviously, as you see, we have many capabilities in terms of C4, in terms of usage of weaponry, in terms of mission systems, and this, the first thing that came in our mind is that it will really increase the workload for the crews and the helicopter. So what we developed together with Leonardo company is a brand new digital battle space management system aimed at reducing as much as possible the workload for pilots, while at the same time boosting as much as possible the situational awareness of work. Now you can even see the displays on the real helicopter. With this machine we did something different from the past. We decided to abandon the classic instruments, the capsule instruments, to use a brand new technology that is touchscreen displays on board in all positions. They are interchangeable. I can say that in both positions they can do the same thing. So something I can do in the pilot position, I can do in a co-pilot, in the forward part, without any problems. And this also includes the capability to operate everything that's facing the way. This is something, as a solution that comes from our lesson learned in decades of employment, of operational employment of the Alpha-129 Minister, where pilot and co-pilot seats have almost different roles, and I can do something in a position that I can't do in the other ones. Now everything is swapped. Then the second pillar I mentioned before was the maneuverability and speed in any operational environment. This sentence can mean anything or nothing, so it really needs to be explained. Our target is to be capable of being quick, and being quick as much lower as possible to avoid the possible engagement of the enemy's anti-aircraft activity. To do so, we integrate in the machine lasers, so a LiDAR, a millimeter microwave radar, a digital database that will also confront the information from the other sensors, higher sensors all around the platform. This, coupled with our advanced self-protection system that will detect threats on the battlefield, will lead us to a full situational awareness. Obviously, I need to mention also the data link capabilities. That is another way to know where possible opposing forces positions are. Everything is mixed together and analyzed and matched by the mission computer that I said was the brain of the helicopter, to provide us with a full situational awareness and grant us the capability to say, yeah, you can go that path with that speed without any problems. So you will avoid man-made obstacles, natural obstacles, and above all, enemy positions. Then, you can see that in the right part of the screen, all these data, these are many data, and we can't ask our pilots to take into account many data gathered continuously by the machine. Everything will be merged and kept together by the system that in the end will provide me with a sort of navigation tunnel made also with recurring to artificial intelligence that will just tell me, hey pilot, don't worry about anything, follow this path, you will be outside of enemy threats, you will be outside of obstacles, so fly safe. And that's, you see, on the lowest part of the screen, our requirement. Be quick, slow, and avoid any possible threats. Then, a notable mention, to be capable of flying at the maximum speed as possible and at the lowest altitudes possible, requires us to go a little bit in depth on the helmet, because the helmet is the way in which I will follow that tunnel. I will have my path displayed, say okay, fly this way, and it's is a giant leap forward compared to what we have now and what possibly is around the world in the market at this time. Here on the left part you can see some images of what the crew will see when flying the helicopter. So a full reproduction in 2 dimensions of the terrain and the external view of the machine. But then, one thing we're really proud of is that now, black video please. I mentioned before that we will need to effectively operate even at night, in night level flight conditions, so in full absence of light. And this is what we usually see with MVG goggles. This is a rifle shooting. Okay. The same image on the right side is what we will see with a technologically advanced sensor fully integrated on the new helmet of the AW249. The image is the same. Again, please. As you can see, in the first video you see almost nothing. In the second one you see as it is daylight. And this will really boost our capability not only to effectively and safely fly in any operational environment, but also to engage possibly an opponent in the same environment. This makes a difference. And then again, keeping our attention of the capability to be highly maneuverable with high speed in any operational environment, I need to tell you that all the images gathered from any sensor that are on board of the helicopter will be fused together to provide the crews with the best situational awareness as possible. And saying that, I will say that we have different kinds of sensor imagery. The machine will merge those and fuse those images and present the crews the most effective mixture to fly in that moment, in that operational environment. Coupled again with augmented reality in the close proximity, this stereoscopic vision linked to the areas that are in close proximity of the machine, and augmented reality, especially on the helmet, always to boost as much as possible our situational awareness and reduce the workloads. Another special mention is that since we are in two in this helicopter, and it's not mandatory that we will have to see and look in the same direction. All this imagery will be distributed in a sort of virtual dome. It's something that's transparent for me, but it will be done by the mission computer. And all these images constitute this dome where a pilot and co-pilot can have an independent line of sight, and so they can do different tasks while doing the same mission. Again, third pillar, lethality and precision, obviously, and standoff. Before I mentioned that we prefer to define that in two phases. The first one is the one in which we need to have as much standoff as possible to stay out of possible engagement in opposing forces. The second one is the one in which instead we will need to look for precision, and we need weaponries that are selective, because we can't in any way allow us to do any kind of collateral damage, and above all, we need also to be precise, because in congested and cluttered environments, we need to have a precise fight. Going a little bit in details on the weapon system we will have on board, I will be generic. I won't tell you exactly the name of the weapon, but just it's important to let you know that we will have air-to-ground missiles in two categories. One that will provide us with 60 kilometers reach from the helicopter. Second one is a little bit lower, ranging 8 to 10 kilometers. And then we will have air-to-air missile capability that unfortunately you can see here in this machine, but in the full configuration you will see the air-to-air missiles on the third station, so it's the external tip of the wings. And so Here you see two stations. The third one is the lateral on the tip seat. Then, other than these weaponries, we will have 70mm rockets, both ballistic and laser guided, with rocket launchers that varies from a small number to a higher number of rockets per launcher. And then the cannon. So we have decided to keep the 20mm cannon that, if you remember, when I started my speech before, I said that this machine has nothing to do with its predecessor. So with the Alpha 129 Mangusta, there is almost nothing in common. That's true with the exception of the cannon. The 20mm cannon is something that the Italian Army wanted to have on this new machine. And we wanted it because, it has been tested and proved in decades of operational employment, and we are really happy with that cannon. So when we wrote down our requirements, we said, okay, we want the 20mm we already have on the mount. So that's why you can see the same cannon. Obviously, everything will be connected to the battle space management system that will act again as a sort of interface for the crews to use our control. And the helmet will be another means of control of the weaponry, so saying that almost everything will be fired both with controls or by helmet. The fourth one, the crew and crew teaming. Yeah. Going a little bit deeper in this topic, we can say that we divide our capability in two segments. Again, the first one is the capability to receive videos and metadata from almost all UAVs, with special reference to strategic ones. You can see the Predator. And for that kind of drones, we will ensure ourselves the capability to receive videos and metadata. But then, going a little bit lower, talking about tactical UAVs, we will require at least a level of interoperability that for technicians is named LOE4, and this includes the acquisition, obviously, of imagery and metadata, but also the capability to control the payload of the drones and control the flight path of the UAV. So it's like an extension of the helicopter. The main objective of this capability is to have something that stays far away from me, usually in a deeper part of the battlefield, so I can take control of it and extend my operational awareness and my operational arm of the battlefield. Survivability, here we will have the classic but advanced suite of sensors to clear ourselves from threat posed by heat-seeking missiles, laser-guided missiles, radar-guided missiles, or obviously with chaff and flares decoys. Everything complemented by direct infrared countermeasures and the hostile fire indicator that will grant us the capability to detect small arms fire and RPG launched toward the helicopter for a full 360 degrees coverage. Then we also employ some technical solutions that will really increase and enhance the capability of this helicopter to preserve human life, talk about crews, and safety of the platform. So crashworthiness, bird strike resistance, obviously. What I really would like to highlight is the capability of the transmission to run completely dry for at least a minimum of 15 minutes. And then the implementation of an advanced flotation system that, while flying on water and in case of critical conditions, will grant the platform to float, so to allow the emergency egress of the crew without any problems and with as much time as possible. Here we go. Sustainability and supportability. Here I started saying that one main feature of this platform is that we look for sustainability of most of the components by design. And this led us and the Leonardo company to define some technical solutions that they already patented. For example, the emergency egress, choice of some equipment for which we are granted the life extension over the end of the lifespan of this machine. And on this topic, what I really need to highlight is the innovative maintenance support that we will apply to this machine. We call it prescriptive maintenance. It is none other than predictive maintenance that, coupled with the AI, will allow us to shape the future logistic support of the machine and keep it as much as possible cost effective. So we will totally abandon what is now known as the scheduled and occasional maintenance to something that will be guided by technology. Obviously, this will be something that will keep this the logistic support cost effective, and high employment of line replaceable unit is also something that will boost this capability. Then, just to add something else, we will have obviously simulation systems, starting from full flight emission simulators to all other type of simulation system to keep our crews as much same as possible on this machine. Then, to close my speech, we said that one of the best features of this platform is its growth capability. So in the future, we will have no issues in saying, okay, please, Leonardo, please, we will need this new requirement or we will need this new technical solution, please integrate that on the machine. It will be possible, and at this time, even if the platform is not in service today, we are studying the integration of new capabilities known as the loitering ammo, the endover of loitering ammo of different natures, also from ground segment. So, depending on the nature of the battlefield, I could be the one that will guide on targets those ammos. The anti-UAS capability, because we really understood, seeing what is going around the world in these years, that UAVs will pose a major threat for helicopters in the future. So we'll need to adapt, technologically speaking, and have this capability on board to preserve crews and be as much as effective as possible on the battlefield. And then the application of AI, other than logistics, sorry for this slide, that is already implemented for operation and navigation. Now, thank you for being here. I leave word to the program manager, Sandro Alfonso, that will continue its speech from a company perspective.
Thank you. I'd like to summarize the key point already previously said by my colleagues and by the Italian Army in order to focalize the attention on the point that required from the Italian Army to design and develop a new helicopter. Thanks to our customer, the AW249 is the only all-new combat helicopter designed in the West to meet the new and the next generation technology and capability and to meet the new operational needs. How? Introducing new next generation technology and capability in the field of avionics, HMI, connectivity, battlefield management system, detection, recognition, identification, crew and uncrewed teaming, and so for this reason we do believe that this helicopter is a new benchmark for the future rotorcraft. Another key point for the success of this program is the strict collaboration with the Italian Army and generally speaking with our customer, Eurosatory. How? Through the several and different working group in the several disciplines, as per HMI, Human Machine Interface. Human Machine Interface is an example to show you that the complexity to work in order to reduce the workload. We start in the beginning with a simple engineering mock-up, and now we have a structured system that verify and validate the human machine solution and function. In order to support this new solution to verify in the real cockpit, so in the helicopter, we have a system called the Mission Task Simulator that allows to us to verify the crew stress through an IR infrared technology. So in this case we have a loop. We have several, in each year we have several HMI sessions in order to focalize the attention of Italian Army specialists and our specialists, for example on a mission task simulator in some cases. Other cases, avionic integration test benches. We have several avionic test benches because we must not only verify but also integrate new function in each stage. LAD is a larger display, enhanced control display unit, mission computer. We have several test benches, and after that we have an integrated test bench that on site we can verify the functionality. This is a core for our approach and used to exchange the data fixed in the or finalized in mission task simulator and the real helicopter. My colleagues already said which key milestone was achieved and which milestone must be achieved in the future. I'd like to put in a slide in order to emphasize the concept. After 5 years, we can fly with the first prototype in August 2022. In 2023, we have the second prototypes. So, and after that, we perform important campaign. First hot campaign in August 2023, and in late 2023 and early 2024 the first firing campaign. The both are completed successfully, and now we have several campaign and flight test in this year in order to verify the new envelope of helicopter, to verify a new system. So the program is structured in order to progressively update the configuration to achieve and to meet the Italian Army requirement. This approach allows to us to increment also the configuration, considering an open architecture and the flexibility to manage the flight test through helicopters. This approach allows to us to have more effective and to speed up the development activities. We can exchange the prototypes, we can reassign the activities. So in order to achieve our goal is 2027 to start the delivery of the production helicopters. This is the last slide in order to summarize what my colleagues said previously. If you have some question, we are here to reply to you.
I have a quick question. So, from 2024 to 2027,
yes,
what is going to be going on taking place?
We have several activities. It's very complex and strict flight test activity. Every year we have at least 2-3 campaigns in terms of hot campaign, AW2 campaign, firing campaign, and at the same time to develop avionics to increase the helicopter envelope, so to certify the engine installed on our helicopter. So we have 4 prototypes in order to, in parallel, to perform all activity to achieve that target.
One question regarding the production rate, which will be from 2027 on?
In the beginning of the program, the first requirement required the production 48 helicopter, but now we discuss about production rate. As an industry, we don't have a problem of production rate. We can organize our industry in order to increase the production rate. We are discussing about the Italian Army units.
Okay.